SmooVth, Sega Genesis flow.
Yeah, man.
Catch and shoot like Carmelo.
Exactly, man.
Exactly. Thanks for joining me for a conversation today.
Of course, man. I appreciate you having me.
Word up, man. I've been listening to Amongst Wolves.
Yeah.
Super solid project, man. That's you and Giallo Point, right?
Yeah, that's us. Yep, exactly, man. Yeah, man.
So it's good to see you guys working together again.
Of course, man. That's my guy, you know, so we'll always work, you know. The people seem to really enjoy that too. So I mean, I got joints that didn't make the cut, you know what I mean? It's enough to put out a whole nother project, you know. So we're definitely coming again for sure.
Yeah, man. The hieroglyphics joint is beautiful.
Hieroglyphics,
right rhymes prolific.
Exactly. You know, I write them in hieroglyphics so dudes can't bite them, you know.
Word up. I always talk about. I've been talking to my homies a lot lately about how emojis are the new hieroglyphics.
Exactly.
I see people putting the whole sentences together with like 15 emojis.
Exactly, man. Like it's crazy. The whole digital language is crazy, man.
Right. You're a pioneer in you know, this space that people are calling new golden era hip hop, or this new wave that has now has so much light on it.
Yeah, man. Absolutely.
So what do you remember about, you know, what you would consider the beginning of this wave, or that time period when it wasn't as crowded?
Yeah, like I remember before there was no Twitter, there was no Instagram. I just remember, you know, Hus, myself. It was really small, honestly. You know, you had it was me, Hus, Rose. You had Rock, of course, Willie the Kid, Ka, and this was the MySpace era. You know what I mean? It wasn't until like probably wasn't until like 2016, and even after that, you know, you started seeing the saturation of MCs. But it was fun back then, you know what I mean? Now, I'm not saying it's not fun now. It's still fun, but you know, back then there was a lot more space for us to maneuver, you know?
You know, I feel like, you know, that era particularly, when I think about, because that's the aughts, right? When I think about like the mid 2000s, I think about consolidation everywhere. I think about all the record labels getting bought by the big three.
Exactly.
And I think about the same thing happening on radio and television at the same time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I just remember me and my friends all getting real frustrated every week because we all heard the same songs on the radio, no matter what region we were in.
Yeah, man.
And it was the same videos playing on Sucker Free Sundays every week, no matter what.
Yeah.
You know, it just seemed like it was a very monolized, narrow lane for music at that point in time. And anybody else who was closer to quintessential hip hop, connoisseur rap, whatever we call it, they were, anybody who was closer to that came from the 90s. So there wasn't that many. It felt like they were all like 90s people who were still popular. Like Wu-Tang was still popular. You know, Nas was still popular. But it didn't feel like there was a whole lot of fresh faces that were getting the same attention.
Yeah, exactly, man. I agree. You know, it's crazy, man. Like, I forgot to mention Planet Asia too. Planet Asia, that's my man. You know what I mean? He's been around, but you know, he was popping during the time. Little Brother was popping. You know what I mean? Justice League, Ninth Wonder, shit like that. You know, but that's where we began, man. Like 2004 or so. You know what I mean? And that, like you said, there weren't a lot of fresh faces, you know, at all. And like we were just at the time just trying to add on to what we grew on. You know what I mean? Like I grew up off that, so I just was trying to add on. You know what I mean? Yeah, man.
Yeah, I mean, like that. One thing that stands out to me about Amongst Wolves is you know, when you talk about your family, I think that's some of the strongest bars for me. It's something that resonates the most. Like we talk about single mothers, 3 sisters, little brother, famous grandpops.
Yeah, grandpops, man.
Who was your grandfather? What did he do?
His name is Little Buster. You know what I mean? He's got a Wikipedia and all that. He was a famous blues musician. You know, American soul blues. Played with B.B. King. You know, a lot of the greats. He couldn't see, he was blind, but he learned how to play 9 instruments. He taught me how to play about 4 of them, you know what I mean? Piano, violin, a little bit of drums, harmonica. And he toured the world, man. He toured the world. And I grew up, you know, around a lot of greats that came, a lot of hip hop greats that used to come through and record, you know what I mean, on my grandfather's equipment. But as far as talking about my family and stuff like that, they my biggest influence. So I always gotta put that in the music, you know. Mm-hmm. Always gotta put that in the music. And that's, I feel like, why I'm so passionate when I write, because of my grandfather, you know what I mean? Like, if you listen to the blues, it's not to say sad music, but pouring your heart out, you know what I mean? So I've been influenced by that style of music since birth, you know? Yeah, man. Yeah.
What artists used to come through and record?
Well, you know, my mom and my uncle went to school with Busta Rhymes, leaders of the new school. So I was 4 or 5 years old with these guys coming to my house, you know what I mean? Because I lived with my grandfather for a while. And then, you know, Rock was my uncle's man also. So him, his crew, the UN. I used to, you know, I grew up watching and idolizing Busta Rhymes and them, you know, so they used to come through all the time. Bus was cool with Tribe. So, you know, I met Tip, Fife, all of them, man. Yeah. Yeah, man. It was a good time, you know? It's a good time.
What were those? I mean, I guess I feel like you were sitting in on some of these studio sessions, like
absolutely
4 or 5 years old, seeing leaders of the new school, seeing Busta Rhymes. Like what's impressed? What left a lasting impression? What lasting impressions do you have on those moments?
Honestly, what's crazy is I didn't realize how serious it was until I saw Bus and leaders on TV. You know what I mean? I saw them in living color performing. And you know, I called him by his name. I didn't call him Bus back then. I called him by his name, and I was like, Mom, like, that's, you know, that's Bus. Like, you know what I'm saying? And she was like, yeah. You know what I mean? So that really was the biggest impression, you know. And when I was in elementary school, I used to see him on foot, and all of them on foot. They might walk past while I'm on recess and wave, buy me cookies, stuff like that. So, you know, I really remember those times, because for a while I stayed with my grandfather, and, you know, I saw those guys like every day. My grandfather, my uncle makes beats, you know what I mean? So he made beats for Rock and all these guys, you know what I mean?
That's Trevor. There go Trevor on Arsenio Hall.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. There you go. Yeah, exactly. Like his son, you know, I was with his son. I'm always with his son, his oldest son. I was with him yesterday. You know what I mean? Good family friend, man. Right. Good family friend. Yeah.
That's the Busta Rhymes moment I remember most, when he flipped the Dr. Seuss hat inside out.
Yeah.
Or a scenario.
Man. Yeah, man. That right there, like that verse, that is a monumental verse, man. That verse right there. People, to me, Bus is a legend, like, you know, like top 5 easily. You know what I mean? There's no greater, to me, no greater hip hop performer than Bus. You know what I mean? Bus is incredible, you know? Word.
Yeah, man, me and my boy Ak, shout out to my boy Ak. We took a road trip to Vegas a couple of weeks ago to go kick it with my homie F1. And we are, I'm doing a piece on Busta Rhymes. We're doing a GOAT piece on Busta Rhymes. Really looking at why he's so great. Yeah, man. And so we were just listening to Busta Rhymes albums back to back. We got through the first four and a half albums back to back. Man. I mean,
yeah, man.
It is relentless.
Like I still walk around and just randomly say Bus line. He just used to say stuff. He just used to say craziness, like, you know what I mean? Stuff that just went over your head, like, you know what I mean? It's like crazy shit, man.
He had a line on, I guess it was Anarchy. Maybe it was Anarchy. I completely missed back in the day, but he was talking about, terrorist attacks, planes flying into buildings.
Yeah, exactly.
Before 9/11.
exactly, man. Talking about, there's only 5 years left, man. You remember he was always saying that, extinction level event, anarchy. He, you know what I mean? Predicting that shit. Word.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, man.
He to me it would be one of those MCs that I would not want to come behind if I rhyme.
Never.
Like I would not want to follow him in a cipher, I should say.
Exactly. Right. At all, man. Bus is different, man. Like even now he's still doing his thing, but his shit is still dope and he's taking it easy. Like, could you imagine if he was still, you know what I mean, bleaching, what did he say? He was like, bleach your ass blonde and black your color back to bronze. On happy days, I be the coolest nigga like the Fonz. Like, it's crazy shit, man. Like, crazy. You know what I mean?
I think that was a Disaster Strikes line. That sounds like Disaster Strikes.
That was when, that's like my, oh man. He was like, back, peel him off the wall or some shit he said. I was like, oh man. Like, no, people, I mean, I'm not gonna say people sleep on Bus, but I think he should be at the top of most people's lists, man. Like, for real,
I think
I'm
people,
not.
Keep going.
No, I was just gonna say I'm not saying that like from a biased standpoint because I know them, but I'm just thinking about when he came out in '92 and he was the first one doing what he was doing. Even before Missy, you know what I mean, with all the crazy suits and stuff like that, nobody was doing what Bus was doing, man. And I feel like, I mean, I see lists with him in it, but I see a lot of lists where he is not top 5, and that's crazy to me.
I try to wonder why he's not listed more consistently. And I think him and Redman, MCs like that, I think I feel like the culture shifted to where people who were more specific about things they were experiencing in their life became more of the priority. It became the thing that separated so many different types of guys. And Busta didn't really get into his personal experiences. You know what I mean? And that was okay back then, but I think over time it just doesn't age the same. So I think that's why there's a disconnect.
Definitely, man. Agreed.
But I love ELA 2 though. I think ELA 2 was my favorite album this year.
Yeah, that I like that Jackson 5 flip, man. Oh man. I mean, that whole album was tough, but that's probably the one I like the most on there. But naturally, because I'm a soul guy, man. You know what I mean? I grew up off that. So, yeah.
So do you remember when when Busta signed the UN to Flip Mode?
Yeah, I remember. Yeah, man, like Rock, I think Rock's been, I mean, he's known on Anarchy, you know what I mean? But it was like 96, 95 when he actually got down with Flip Mode. So there's collab songs that people haven't heard, you know what I mean? But I do remember.
Do me a favor, SmooVth. Say that one more time. You said that they'd known each other for a while. My internet, I had to move over to my 5G.
Okay.
So we just
it's all good. I understand.
Just start over with the UN part. I want to make sure.
Yeah,
that's what you're saying.
Yeah, what I was saying is like the majority of the people heard Rock first with Bus in '97 on Anarchy, but they've been down for years. You know what I mean? I think he might have signed. I can't say exact dates, but I know there are a lot of collab songs that we haven't heard. You know what I mean? That Rock was on, you know what I mean? So I do remember vividly, actually. The first time I actually heard him, when Anarchy dropped, I was actually down in Florida visiting my family, and I remember his verse was like the highlight of that Anarchy album, man. You know what I mean? Like Rock guy's a beast, man. Guy's a beast, definitely. You know what I mean?
He seems like he seems like one of those artists to me that kind of got lost in the shuffle too, of like that era in that consolidation sense. And what I mean is like people like, I mean, obviously he wasn't as prominent as Pharoah Monch, but like Pharoah Monch, you know, after Raucous Geffen merger, he basically was quiet for 10 years and then reemerged in 2009 or whatever. And I feel like Rock is similar to that to me, because I'm not sure how big UN actually had a chance to be, you know, with You In or You Out. Yeah, but then Marsburg, you know, that reignited the wave.
That changed the landscape, man. That is that set the tone for like a lot of this, you know, the sound itself, you know what I mean? The sound itself, you know what I mean? Like Hus and I, we have our sound, which is similar to that sound. And then, you know, but Rock, you know, his shit blew up, you feel me? So that shit really, Marsburg set the tone, man. That shit set the tone, you know, for sure.
What do you remember about that era when Marsburg first dropped?
I remember for the most part, smoking a lot of weed with Hus, because we were doing music ourselves. We were touring, you know what I mean? So I remember making a lot of music. That's really what I was doing during that era. You know what I mean? From like 05, 04, 05, we would just we lived together. So we were knocking out songs every day and performing them every week, traveling, you know? So for the most part, that's what I remember, you know? Us doing our music thing and Rock doing his thing and actually showing us love on MySpace back during those days. Cause we had common producers, you know what I mean? Like the Arch Druids. First time I worked with the Druids was like 2007. And so that's how I mean, like I said, the family already knew him, but musically, I was the young guy. I've always been the little kid, you know what I mean? I was 5, 6 around these guys. So it wasn't until around that time that we merged musically, you know what I mean? Because of, you know, common producers and stuff like that. But for the most part, that's what I remember. I remember me and Hus making a lot of music and Marsburg dropping and listening to Marsburg heavily. Like, you know what I mean? Yeah.
Yeah, I think, I mean, you mentioned how small, you know, the carriers of that torch were at that point in time, how few people there was. You mentioned Planet Asia, Willie the Kid, Rosewood, Hush, yourself, Rock.
Yeah.
I think that
Rock,
was, you know.
Yeah, for the most part, that's what it was at the time. Everybody else, you know, I always say not to toot my own horn, but I feel like we were the guys that made it possible for, you know, what these guys are doing now, because I used to be on MySpace talking to guys who couldn't speak English, who weren't even comfortable enough to do music with American MCs, you know what I mean? Using Google Translate to you know, basically to communicate, to get these beats and trying to get on everybody's top 8. You feel me? So that's what we were doing. And then you know, we used to try to conquer every country. We started in Sweden, made it over to England, Finland, you know what I mean? All that shit. And now, you know, to see everybody working and doing that, everybody, whoever comes in now, it's easy for them because, I mean, the groundwork has already been laid. They just got to make a Twitter, make an Instagram, and hit guys up and work, you know what I mean? But me and Hus actually, you know, had to put that shit together. We would think we were being innovative, like, you know what I mean? Going on SoundClick and just, you know, finding beats we liked. And we were like, yo, we got to get these, you know? And somehow we made it work, man. I just was rapping for fun, you know what I mean? And I didn't expect people to really take to it like that, you know? So it's pretty crazy, actually, to see where we are now, you know? Yeah, man.
I've been talking about this a lot on my channel recently, and
Yeah.
I think the Grammys got it right this year. You know, I know people are like, we shouldn't care about the Grammys or whatever. We should care about the Grammys because that is investment into the space. Okay, anybody who is Grammy nominated, associated with Grammy anything, has the opportunity to make more money. Now, if we support certain styles, certain sounds, that's why we want them to be associated with the Grammy. No one's over there saying this, they got the best taste. We're saying that this is the industry standard for who is worth investing in from different ways. And I like seeing that this year.
Yeah, man. I like seeing it too. That's what I always talk about it, whether or not, you know, whether I like a particular MC or not, or whatever, just seeing them in that space, you know what I mean, is a good thing for guys like myself that, you know, have similar sound. You feel me? It's a beautiful thing, you know?
I mean, you did I guess, what was it? What's it called? Start, bench, cut. You did that in a recent interview with BTG. Yeah. I enjoyed that conversation. And you started, and the choices were Royce da 5'9", Kendrick Lamar, and Pusha T.
Yeah,
right? Those are the three. And you started Royce.
Yeah, man. Roy. I mean, I'm from a different. I'm not even old like that. I'm not 40, nothing. I'm still in my early 30s. You get what I'm saying? But I'm from that time, man. Like, Kendrick is great and all, but I'm not putting him ahead of Royce. You get what I'm saying? I'm not putting him ahead of Pharoah Monch. The guys like Mos Def, I like them better. Like, Kendrick is dope, but I'm definitely starting Royce, man. Right. Yeah, Royce is, to me, no disrespect to M, but Royce is iller than M. You get what I'm saying?
At this point, definitely.
Yeah, Yeah, man.
I'm pretty sure Royce has told that to M, and I'm pretty sure M might agree.
Yeah.
I think M might agree right now.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Yeah.
So what's your whole take? What's your position on I mean, is it fair to say Griselda versus Hus? Or Mach and Westside versus Hus? I mean, we just got Easter Gun Day, we got Easter Wave Night.
Yeah, I mean,
how did this start from your point of view? Because I talked to Hus about it. He said it was miscommunication on both sides. What's your take?
You see, the thing of it is, like, Hus moved to Atlanta, and he moved to LA. And all the while I was still here in New York, you know what I'm saying, doing my thing, making music. We linked up with, we know Mach for forever because Mach is Rose's man. You get what I'm saying? And DJ Phantom is the first guy to ever show us any love and put us on the radio and spin our shit. He actually hosted a mixtape for us back in 2004. And DJ Phantom introduced me to Rose, who introduced me to Mach. So Mach was down with us since way back. You get what I'm saying? Hus introduced Mach to Gunn, and I guess they got together. And whatever the case may be, I just know that we were trying to do music with them when people first started hearing Gunn. We were trying to make music with them, So we did songs here and there, and then I don't know what occurred. To this day, I still don't know how the beef even started. You get what I'm saying? I just know Easter Gun Day 1 came out, and all the love that I ever showed Westside Gunn, you know what I mean? I know he mentioned me on the song at the end, but he did say I was cool. You know what I'm saying? He's like, nah, Smooth, you cool, or whatever the case may be. But I just don't understand how it even began. Like, I don't know what happened between Hus and them. You get what I'm saying? But I just know we got mentioned. It did get hostile for a second. I did go back and forth with Griselda online. And then I guess they patched it up. Then they do Easter Gun Day 4, which was a response, I guess, to the interview that Hus and you had, but I didn't see Hus didn't say anything that wasn't factual. You get what I'm saying? So I can't really say much on it because I'm not there, or I wasn't there for it. You know what I'm saying? But to me, it is miscommunication. You know what I mean? To me. I to this day feel like we could have got together and been the greatest collective. You know what I mean? Griselda and the Winners. So, you know, I try not to, you know, I also try not to speak too much on it because stuff gets misinterpreted. You know what I'm saying? Obviously they misinterpreted the interview you guys just had. So I sit here and say how I feel and they'll misinterpret it. You get what I'm saying? You know, but I don't understand it, man, you know, and I'm not gonna sit here and slander anyone, but you can hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I'm not gonna slander anyone, but you know, I have my thoughts. Like, um, they just I guess they hungry to get to where they want to get to, man. You feel me? And from what I saw from the outside looking in, they used Hus, stepped on him, you get what I'm saying? And now they passed Hus, you get what I'm saying? But me and him, we're not those type of people. Like, I always remember where I came from. You know what I'm saying? So I'll never shit on the people that held me down. You feel me? And I feel like that's what happened. You know what I'm saying? But I don't know why that happened, but I just feel like that's what happened, you know? Because last I spoke to Mach, for instance, we were discussing him shooting a video for a song of mine, and that was years ago. I never had any issues with him. You get what I'm saying? And then all of a sudden now they got issues. You feel me? So all I ever did was show love to Griselda. You feel me? Until Easter Gun Day 1, and then that was when shit went left. You feel me? So I have no real I personally don't. It doesn't bother me. I don't really care because I've been in this long enough to see like a lot of these guys, some dudes aren't genuine. And I'm not saying they're not genuine. It's just I limit my expectations. You know what I'm saying? If I expect a lot from somebody, I'll be disappointed a lot. So, whatever, it's whatever to me, man. You feel me? It's really whatever to me. You feel me? Yeah.
I was actually surprised Hus responded. But before I share how I feel,
yeah,
because he responded fast. But what'd you think of Easter Gun Day 4? What was your first reaction after you heard it?
My first reaction was, well, when I first pressed play, I didn't hear much. I just heard, them talking their shit, spitting bars, and then it wasn't until I heard him say, "Oh, he heard that little interview," and I'm like, "Okay, well, it's obvious who he's talking about now." You know what I'm saying? There's no other guy MC who did an interview mentioning these guys, so that's what it had to be about. You feel me? And I just was like, I kind of expected it though. You get what I'm saying? I expected that to occur because, and not to say Hus isn't wrong for talking about it. If he felt like talking about it, he felt like talking about it. But some people feel like, if you're gonna, don't mention me, basically. So I understand, like, he responded to being mentioned. You feel me? But they could have talked about it, but it is what it is. You feel me?
From outside looking in, because I'm way on the outside. I haven't known none of y'all nearly as long as you guys have known each other for that. For a point. Yeah. But it seems like y'all have known Mach for a long, long time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
That's the one that seems, from my perspective, most surprising, I guess.
Yeah. Thing is, I don't know Gunn or any of them personally. Hus knows them. You get what I'm saying? So I fucked with them off the strength that I liked the music, because I'm not gonna lie, the music is dope. You get what I'm saying? It's dope music. But I know Mach. You get what I'm saying? I know Mach. But as far as those guys, that's why I don't really have a real, gripe, because it's like I don't give a, I got bigger things going on to really give a shit about these guys. You know what I'm saying? I don't give a shit. Like, you feel me? So But yeah, Mach is surprising. I still don't really understand where he's coming from or why or what occurred. You know what I mean? To even get it to this point. Or
what was your response when you heard Easter Wave Night?
I laughed at that, man. You know, the artwork alone, man, it just was like, damn. I was like, damn, yo, like, you know, I don't know. I may not have, I mean, I would have responded. I may not have put that shit on the art, but you know, I thought it was funny. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's only really a matter of time. Honestly, I feel like Hus, he's been nice long enough. Like, get the shit off your chest, man. You feel me? I'm just a little bit different where like when it went down, I just was like, man, I don't really feel like going back and forth with you guys online. We can deal with this personally. You know what I'm saying? And that's my take on it. Like I am an MC. I love the comp, so I am ready. You know what I'm saying? I'm more than ready if need be to spar lyrically. You know what I'm saying? But I much rather, hit me up, man. Or if you want, we can link up and talk about this, or if whatever the case may be. You know what I'm saying? I much rather just deal with it like that. You feel me? But it's funny, man. Like it came out the blue. It really came out the blue. I can't believe we're back at this point, man. Like I really can't believe it. Like, because he's doing his thing, man. He's getting money. He's got all type of stuff going on. Why are you worried about us guys down here? You get what I'm saying? Quote unquote. You know, why are you worried about the bums if we bums? You know what I'm saying? You know, so that's how I take it. That's how I see it. You feel me?
Yeah, I mean, that's what it looks like to me too. I mean, it's like I always like, even in any rap beef in history, when it's supposedly someone is more successful than someone else, but they're spending time. It always is weird to me, right? Like when Jay-Z said, "I'm about $1. What the fuck is 50 Cent?" He just left it at that. Right? He didn't dedicate whole tracks.
Yeah, man.
You know what I mean?
Exactly. So it really is unfortunate, like I said, because I much rather sit back and, you know, be a fan, and because I'm a fan first before I'm an MC, I'm a fan, man. I like Benny the Butcher, Conway. You feel me? Gunn's fucking beats, those beats are hard. Like I like the shit. You know what I'm saying? So it's just annoying to me. You feel me? It's just annoying. But like I said, you know, Hus had all the reason to feel how he feels. And, you know, I feel like they've taken way more shots than he has. You get what I'm saying? So be it, you know?
Yeah, and it's 2-on-1 every time.
Yeah, exactly. Every single time.
It's
and
like
I try to
reinforcements. I'm like, what? Yeah. Hus is just hanging by himself.
Yeah, and that's because I try to be the bigger person. You know what I'm saying? You know, I got kids. You feel me? Shit like that. I've been through a lot in my life. You know what I'm saying? To where rap beef doesn't faze me. I've had real issues. You know what I'm saying? Outside. You know, so. You know, I don't really want to have to. I will if I need to, but you know, I'm older now. You know what I'm saying? All that craziness, gang banging, all that beef shit. I did that in my teens, you know what I mean? My 20s, stuff like that. So that's why I have a different take on it. That's why I try to just play the cut, you know what I'm saying? Unless I'm mentioned, you feel me? You know, it's not about being afraid or anything like that. I'm far from that, you know what I'm saying? But, you know, I just much rather we get along, you feel me? Right. Yeah, you know, man.
I mean, the thing that I think is most interesting is that, or most signifying of how big this wave has gotten, right? I mean, you started off pointing out how small the community was at that point.
Yeah, man.
Right, 15 years ago. And now it's, you know, now the beefs that are there are news. You know what I mean? Like, I mean, it was news when Mach and Gunn made up. You know,
yeah, man, it's crazy what news is. Yeah,
I mean, it's
amazing.
but that's how much light and interest is in y'all,
Yeah,
in y'all
yeah,
as artists.
exactly.
And I think that's a good thing. You know, I think that's actually dope.
It is a good thing. And I was speaking to my one of my people yesterday, and I just was saying at the same time, it just shows the impact a guy like Hus has. You feel me? For two top dogs to even be upset or, you know, responding or shit like that, or even still thinking about him, you know, shows his impact. You feel me? Big impact. He's the glue to this game. People may not say it. People, you know how it is, man. You know, they don't want to give you your flowers, show you love. You'll give them clear evidence. You'll show them the facts, and they'll make excuses. You get what I'm saying? So it is what it is. They saw this. You see the combo. You see the combo on the artwork. You see what it is. You see what the energy used to be. You get what I'm saying? On the artwork. So, you know, yeah, man. So that's why I always laugh, because I know what it is. You get what I'm saying? And I feel like I don't respond to certain things because I know me and that particular man know the truth. So, I mean, you could lie to the people if you want. We know the truth. You get what I'm saying? So that's how I look at it, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.